Welcome to all-wheel drive video 11D. So I'm just gonna give you a quick rundown on what's going on here. I got the whole new braking components up here. These are Brembo rotors, Hawk HPS pads, some StopTech braided steel lines. I've never used these before, braided steel lines. I swapped my old aftermarket rack with a used OEM rack, right? So I replaced the inner tie rods and the outer tie rod with that brand called Sankey, I believe, and they're the Japanese parts. So that's cool. I think Sankey is an OEM parts supplier for Honda. I also replaced this boot because you know they always rip right here. The two on this rack originally were gonna rip at some point. So there's that. Front, I also, new ball joints down there, so the front end is gonna be pretty fresh. I'm also gonna raise the car up a little bit before this is all over. I think it'll be just a little more functional, but that'll be totally at the end. So on the other side, same situation, all pretty and stuff. I did overextend a piston and pushed it back in. Hopefully I didn't mess anything up there. We'll find out. I got this fluid for it. That's what we gonna use. I've been getting lots of little pieces. There's output shaft seal for the transmission. Both sides are different on each side. Okay, and this box right here is just full of stickers. Okay, so sticker clout. Got these shift detent springs. They're longer or stiffer, I'm not sure, but they're just supposed to give you a crisper feel when your little detent ball moves around here. Got lots of stuff. Rebuilding this, right? Slowly but surely. This is the front seal. It's replacing this guy. The front seal of the diff underneath there. Tin can, I'll show you the number, 223843 Bob. This bearing, I'm just showing you, I guess, all the new stuff I got. This bearing is going to go here, and I could not find the replacement front. I think it's the front drive bearing. It's the one further down there. So I'm actually going to reuse that. That's this bearing. I'll probably do a diff rebuild video aside. So there's that. I put new bearings on that, but oh god. Anyways, I got the rear trailing arms on as much as possible. I mentioned once how this was touching, and I thought I was just gonna say, oh, screw it and tighten it down. But then I realized the caliper wouldn't have any free play if that was butted down, so I grinded it so there's some clearance. I'm gonna leave it bare so it'll be nice and rusty someday, just like that. I should take that off and clean it up, but I don't know if maybe this hanger will be used when I go to do my stuff, but I'll definitely bring it up to the exhaust shop. I'll probably go back to the same exhaust shop, or I'll do it myself, I'm not sure. But anyways, so this is as bolted up as it can be. The brakes, I got the same deal, Brembo blanks and HPS pads here, and I did grind this down. I'm not exactly happy with how it turned out. I just used a grinder, you know. Anyways, and then I went too much. I got a washer. So this now fits. If you're just tuning in, this spherical BWR camera kit has little removable pieces here, and they were too wide for this trailing arm. But if you look, it is actually pinched in. I feel like on the other side I didn't have to grind off as much, but anyways, it's all done. Braid steel lines here too. One thing, I need to clean up that brake fluid. One thing I don't know about just yet is my axle's gonna go through there, right? And look at my brake line. Okay, this is gonna be lifted up a fair amount. Maybe like that. And this will have a little bit of room to come down. Anyways, there's no mount like there is a factory spot. There's a factory dealio, but there's no way to mount it. So I think what I'm gonna do, after I see the position, like how the axle goes through, how much this is gonna go up, I might just twist this, drill a hole. Like I wanna drill it there, just because that looks holy, but that's a spot weld, so I'll drill it right here. or something, so I can mount that just so it's a little safer and hopefully holds it down. So I talked about in one video how these trailing arms don't have a spot for the for your sway bar to mount up to, and that is a real letdown. So, and then boom, Hub City Performance posted that they have a new rendition of their trailing arm, which allows for a sway bar to mount. So what I did, this is the SI sway bar. I went and bought an EK9 sway bar. This is about 22 millimeters. This is 13. This should make my steering more neutral, but nonetheless, at least I have EK9 parts, Civic Type R parts, and clout for that. This little guy is much larger than this guy, so I'm happy that this bar came with this. It actually wasn't shown in the picture, and I kind of BS'd with the seller a little bit, and he included them. I'll probably swap these end links, maybe. I know that these are just a couple years old, but these are Type R. This is called a D bracket. It's too small because this is a 13 millimeter bar, 13 millimeter bushing, and 13 millimeter D bracket, we'll say. Well, that thing will not fit here, but they still sell the USDM Integra Type R. This is from a JDM Civic Type R, or just a Civic Type R not in the US. It's 22 millimeter, right? Well, the USDM Integra Type R also uses a 22 millimeter bar. The JDM Integra Type R uses 23, by the way. So I am able to buy this D bracket for the Integra Type R, which should fit this guy. Now, I don't know if it's going to bolt to this. If it doesn't, then I might be just a little screwed. I probably will see if it doesn't bolt to this. It's just going to be because the bracket is a little wider as far as the bolt holes. So what I might do is just modify this bracket. Maybe I can grind these off, weld a plate if the bracket extends beyond the end points. Anyways, we'll figure that out. I probably will be able to use these nonetheless. Really excited about this EK9 bar. So, I can't bolt these up if I want to swap them out. Hub City Performance did say that they'll swap them out if they were not used. They're a little dirty, but so that leaves me kind of in the air on things. I just messaged them and was like, hey, do you have it yet? Which I figured he would probably post on the big All-Wheel Drive Facebook group if he had them. He said no. Anyways, what I might do is use my stock. I mean, not stock, but my other arms. And if it's not clear, these arms right here are used. See the dealio going on there? They're needed to clear somehow. I'm not exactly sure, but to clear this. Otherwise, the lower control arm rubs on this. But anyways, so I might use these guys for now, but the problem will be not having the rear diff fully in use. I'm saying if I want to roll the car, potentially, then I want the ability to roll the car. So I would have to get some axle stubs or end caps or blanks, whatever you want to call it, to go in there, so I can tighten the nut down on the other side so the bearing is loaded and it doesn't get trashed. We'll see what I do there. That side is at the same status, bolted up fully, everything torqued as much as can be and all that. So my next move, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna install this gosh darn bar. It's been like 2 weeks or so of not installing that gosh darn bar. I'm at the same spot that you've previously seen. So I'm just gonna dangle install it. I'm gonna weld it. Like I said, I've been kind of dreading it. I cleaned up this just to make me feel like a good welder, but it doesn't really matter. So my goals for now: install this bar. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do is, this transmission is actually not sealed. Still working on this. I'm gonna take off this. I'm gonna gut the transmission and then put the transfer case on, and then I'll bolt the bell housing to the engine. And so I'll have, I will know, I'll take measurements to figure out how long exactly my drive shaft needs to be, because this should be a little bit too long. So anyways, I will bolt up the bell housing with the transmission. I'll also put this guy up on there with, I'll just loosely throw this guy in, whatever's needed to make it the proper length and all that with this, you know, the flange. Then I will take my measurements to figure out how long this needs to be, and then I can take, because this, I'm gonna have to drop this off at a shop and it might take a week or 2 weeks, hopefully not that long, but I wanna get this out of the way as soon as possible. So once I have the lengths, I can take all these yokes and all those things and the drive shafts to the machine shop and say, here you go. So after that, I will be focusing only on the transmission and the rear diff, and some other things are the shifter and the mount, which I guess I'll have to wait to get this back, but to mount that up. And after that, I think I'll pretty much be on the up and up. Yep. Okay, gonna work on this bar. I've been doing this over and over. Something like that. Okay, so here's what we're working with. Pretty good, pretty good. You know, the bar on this side is pretty much at the base of this guy, whereas on this side it's much higher and it's not really easy to just teeter the bar like that, but it's gonna be fine. A little outline of what I welded there. So over here, I'm just gonna weld it in. I might just like run a line on one side and the other, and then I'll take it out and finish it up. But I would like to mention that I did obviously get this snug. Like it was too little of a gap, and I hammered it in. So this is pushing out on this and this a little bit, which is probably good because I got that pretty flush. But I am in some places going to use filler to, I'm gonna use filler weld to bridge the gap. So I don't mind that this is pushing against so that there's more contact. Anyways, I decided to push the diff straight up as much as possible. I'm gonna double check that this is pushed straight up, and then I'm gonna weld that. I don't have any proper welding stuff on because I'm not very smart, but I'll mark this guy. I want you to live here for all of eternity. Lift the cap off my Sharpie because once again, not very smart. It's good. I do have this hood though. Oh yeah. That was terrible. Ooh, still hot somewhere. Yeah, this is hard. Definitely just gonna tack it just a smidgen so it stays on both sides. Oh no! Fucking hell! Ah. My LCD and my phone. All right, that is tacked. Probably gonna stop showing you this because I just damaged my LCD. That's okay. Tacked, and this is silly. I should have safety stuff maybe. Gonna take this down. Got this thing what I would call hard tacked. I don't know. I welded just a little, and I decided I'm gonna drop the this. I'm gonna make sure I can unbolt this with this in the exact position it's in. So I'm just gonna go up to the top, loosen those two 17mm bolts, and I'll probably just go straight to removing these because that one will be hard to get to. I did glove up and I did suit up. Still have a hole burned in my screen though. That's alright. Alright, well, I'm proud because I frickin' did it. It's gonna hold. Yeah, it's really hard to weld. And it's hard to weld. Actually, sometimes welding seems easy, sometimes it seems hard. But all these, it was so hard to keep it red. Anyways, it's gonna hold. I tried to stitch this, like I said, and then I blew through because I had the voltage too high, but I bandaged it up. There's like a little tiny hole there where you can still kind of see on the top half. Anyways, I'm not too worried. I'll be a good welder someday. This is gonna hold. It's gonna hold. Yeah, here's the side. Blah, blah, blah. It's gonna work. So I might need to open up this hole a little bit more in this direction because my bolt was kind of getting marred up. It was too close right here. Whew. There's that. So I did forget to paint up here. But luckily, like, this is the only mark. So actually, I guess this whole bar could just rust. It's just mild steel and it's unpainted. But what I'll spray up in there. I'm gonna get some like rhino liner type stuff, underbody stuff. I think probably whatever this is, and just spray the heck out of everything, all the welds. I'm not really too concerned if it's pretty down here. I'm not gonna take any on a lift undershot Instagram photos. It'll be all right. So I'm just gonna remount the diff just to make sure I don't need to widen this hole out and stuff. And yeah. So I got the diff mounted up with just the rear 6 bolts, not the top 2. I'll show you what's going on here. It's not a perfect world. This is the hole, right? You can see it is just slightly off. And here's the other one. This one I have a washer in place. That one's still off. I just mentioned. Oh, so I'm gonna get like a carbide bit or whatever and just kind of shape that as needed. So I'm kind of tired and hungry. I don't think I'm gonna do all those things that I said I was gonna do today. I'm actually just gonna clean up my mess, made a big mess, and leave it at that. I'm gonna probably order the underspray paint stuff and get that bit, carbide bit, I don't know, burr bit, something. Get that soon, and then I'll see, maybe tomorrow I will do those other things like figure out the drive lane length and stuff like that. All right, I'll see you tomorrow.